Coming up on this episode of Earth, we travel to Slovenia to find out how wood pellets can be replaced by something just as strong but much more sustainable, made of cardboard. In England, we meet the people making zero-emission powertrains for electric cars and trucks. And in Dallas and Colorado, we see how the airline industry is making sustainable aviation fuel from agricultural waste. We travel to Tennessee, where greener structures are being built thanks to resilient, recyclable brick. And in Spain, we discover a key product that is helping to produce greener, recyclable steel. It's all coming up on Earth. Hi, I'm John Holden.
And I'm Andrea Ocampo.
Welcome to Earth. Hi, I'm John Holden. Welcome to Earth. We're starting off our show here in Central Europe in the city of Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia. Above me, you see the famous castle overlooking the city. You know, I want to get up as high as I could to try to see this castle, so I'm standing on a pallet. But in this case, this one is made of cardboard. It's 80% lighter, but yet just as strong. And you're going to see how this is helping save our forests and natural resources in a most unique way. Let's take a look. You've probably seen boxes stacked high in warehouses waiting to be shipped. They're often secured to pallets with straps or shrink wrap. The pallet system is a reliable, safe way to ship things, but it requires cutting down literally billions of trees.
So the problem for the transport sector globally is that wooden pallets dominate. So over 90% of the pallets that are used are made of wood, and the demand for these pallets is growing at 5% per year. So it's really putting a huge strain now on wood supply. Impact on the environment has always been great by using wooden pallets, but it's just increasing at a time when we need to find ways to decrease the impact on the environment, the carbon footprint of these sort of products.
Since the invention of forklifts and wooden pallets, global companies have searched for ways to make pallets lighter and use fewer natural resources. One company in Slovenia has found a solution. A pellet that is durable and strong as wood, yet 100% recyclable, 80% lighter, that can reduce CO2 emissions by 80% to make manufacturers and shippers lots of money. You guessed it, they're making sustainable pallets out of cardboard.
I mean, cardboard is from the wood anyway. It has the best fibers, so it's the same material, but in way more sophisticated form. So by the default, cardboard should be better material than a wood if you use it correctly. And so therefore our pallets are 80% lighter, but still have the same performance that wooden pallets.
Now it's true corrugated cardboard has been the best material for protecting goods for more than a century. Kraftpal knew that corrugated cardboard pallets would also provide the same excellent shock absorption during transportation, while still allowing companies to lower their pallet costs, yet reduce their carbon footprints and protect the environment at the same time.
Rock, there's all this cardboard surrounding us. What's the benefits of cardboard over wood?
John, there are so many, but to point out a few, they're super light, they're easy to recycle, and they can carry just about anything a wooden pallet can.
Now in the past, companies have tried to find a cost-effective alternative to wood pallets, but failed. Kraftpal was the only one to succeed in designing cardboard to be a widely adopted standard for the global supply chain and the transportation of goods.
Yeah, it's much easier to do a custom pallet from cardboard because our machinery can take pretty much any design we want. More eco-friendly, more sustainable, it's lighter, it absorbs more vibration when transporting goods.
The challenge was that to build a pallet that would replace the wooden pallet in terms of performance needed on the market. These are rollers, conveyors, open rack systems, manipulations and so on. And they failed big time because they never developed the design that would fit these criteria. So we were the first company that developed the designs that fit to the criteria, and we can efficiently replace wooden pallets without any investments made by our clients.
It meant designing modular machinery that allows companies a smooth transition from wood to cardboard pallets. In this case, the Palletinator, capable of producing hundreds of cardboard pellets per hour and powered by green energy.
This machine is a combination of 15,000 parts, like modern robotic systems, gluing and folding systems, and we are able to produce 240 pallets per hour. Doesn't matter which size or format you want. It's very easy to transition from wooden pallets to corrugated board pallets, because we as Kraftpal offer you or serve you with the whole technology, the knowledge to become a pallet producer as we are.
Now this is the first prototype of the next phase of the Palletinator. It's a $2 million complicated maze of machinery filled with over 15,000 parts, from robotics and rollers to computers and engineering, that will pump out a cardboard pallet every 15 seconds.
The Palletinator is like a synchronized ballet. It's very complex production because usually in the box industry they use 4 to 8 manipulations, where we are using more than 64 manipulations to build one product, and it's accurate for less than 0.1 millimeter. So we can produce extremely efficiently, fast, and also accuracy is top of the industry.
Lighter, recyclable, made of cardboard. Now you may not know how your stuff is shipped, but at least now you know one more piece of the global sustainability picture and what's happening here in the country of Slovenia.
Next up, Andrea Ocampo is in northern England.
This castle is a medieval fortification in the east of England. When this place was in its heyday, modern comforts like electricity didn't exist, of course. But today, this region is a big deal. It's now a global fortress to protect the planet from pollution and climate change. As a central region of the British auto industry, today this area is home for innovative companies electrifying the transportation and heavy equipment industries. Heavy-duty vehicles construct, mine, grow, and transport nearly everything, including ourselves. But they cause big problems for the planet in terms of pollution. It may surprise you that most emissions from vehicles don't come from passenger cars and trucks. Rather, commercial and industrial vehicles are responsible for about 55% of vehicle emissions globally. But we don't have to keep driving down this road. Electrification can decarbonize even our biggest transport options, from buses to trains, from ships to motorbikes, and even the fleet of delivery trucks.
The impact that the transport sector has on the planet is significant. In 2019, the UK transport sector emitted 122 megatons of CO2 equivalent. That is over a quarter of the total UK emissions.
As the world looks to move on from fossil fuels to power machines, the companies that make vehicles need both the components and expertise to electrify their fleets. One company in the region is working to do just that. Turntide Technologies provides the electrification technology manufacturers need to convert their diesel engines to clean, quiet electric machines.
So Turntide's mission is to invent and scale breakthrough technologies to help humanity use efficiency in a more optimum way. We also have a lot of experience and resource and capability here. The staff that we have been involved in vehicle electrification for many, many years, over 60 years in fact, which is quite a surprise to some people. People don't realize that electric vehicles have been around that long, but they've been around an awful long time, and we've been involved in vehicle electrification programs for all of that time.
But converting commercial and construction vehicles to electric is not simple. It requires new technologies and new ways of designing vehicle powertrains that are up to demands of commercial use.
Powertrain is essentially made up of three main components. First and foremost, you're looking for your energy storage, so that'll be the battery pack or potentially a fuel cell in terms of electrification. And then what we also need is the kind of power electronic side of things, because the power signal from a battery is DC, direct current, and we need the power electronics and the inverter to convert that into an alternating current.
The efficiency of electric vehicles is also very important, and battery technology is growing rapidly. So areas that were currently untouchable, like heavy-duty vehicles, like construction vehicles, are now becoming a place where we can actually start to look at electrifying the full vehicle instead of just using the hybrid solution.
We've recently, in the last few years, we've worked with a major leading construction OEM such as JCB, and also passenger rail in terms of Hitachi. So leading edge OEMs has helped us develop and roll in electrification for our customers.
One mode of transportation that is rapidly changing to electric is passenger trains. In the UK, only 38% of the 4,000 miles of track are electrified, and the government is calling to remove all diesel-only trains by 2040. To meet the aggressive goal, Hitachi Rail has been working with Turntide to help speed the transition.
So Hitachi came to see us about 3 years ago. They wanted assistance in being able to use battery technology on rail vehicles. They wanted it to be modular. They want to use it on a number of different platforms within the fleet for retrofit and for new build.
Hitachi is hoping to replace upwards of 3,300 diesel trains in the UK with battery electric versions. This can immediately impact carbon emissions as well as sound and noise pollution. In addition to vehicle electrification, Turntide's award-winning smart motor systems is now running in thousands of buildings around the world, reducing energy demands by an average of 64%. These results and Turntide's electrification technology have also caught the attention of major global investors from Amazon, BMW, and Bill Gates' Breakthrough Energy Ventures to Footprint Coalition started by Iron Man himself, Robert Downey Jr.
We're global, so we have product that's in New Zealand, Australia, essentially all corners of the globe. So with the drive, the regulations, and in terms of the target for net zero, a lot of our products are in cities. So by having zero emissions, cleaner air, quieter, and a lot of our applications as well can now work particularly the mini excavator that we do for JCB. You can do that indoors, you can do that in built up areas, and it can run for longer. So the whole environment, we're benefiting from that.
The bottom line, by switching the energy source of heavy-duty vehicle fleets from dirty diesel to clean electricity, we can significantly reduce toxic emissions that are contaminating the environment, polluting our air and water, and changing our climate. If efficient electrified systems are deployed to applications around the world, they could reduce fossil fuel consumption on a scale that could quite literally save the planet. Until next time.
I love watching planes take off. As you can imagine, I spend a lot of time on airplanes and at airports like the one you see behind me, Love Field in Dallas. This form of transportation is essential to producing our show, where we address environmental issues being addressed all over the planet. And one of those issues, aviation fuel, which right now game-changing technology is helping it all the more become sustainable, as you're about to see. Air travel produces 2% of the nation's CO2 greenhouse gas emissions, but today biomass is being tested as a renewable alternative for the aviation industry. That could really help lower greenhouse gas emissions on a global scale, but challenges exist in making enough of it at a reasonable cost. So a hot new acronym is taking off these days called SAF, or SAF. That stands for Sustainable Aviation Fuel. It's a fuel produced from non-fossil fuel sources that can be lower greenhouse gas emissions, much lower than conventional jet fuel.
Well, today's industry uses about 21 billion gallons of fuel, and it is the third largest source of greenhouse gas emissions coming from the transportation sector. It is going to take what we're calling a Sustainable Aviation Fuel's Grand Challenge to really meet the needs of the industry in time to reduce CO2 emissions. For example, we set our first target as 3 billion gallons by 2030. Our ultimate goal is to meet 100% of the U.S. demand for aviation fuel in 2050.
Now, one collaborative way the aviation industry is responding to this challenge alongside several government partners is happening here at the foothills of the Rocky Mountains in Golden, Colorado, at the National Renewable Energy Lab, otherwise known as NREL. As a government-owned, contractor-operated facility overseen by the Department of Energy, NREL has partnered together with D3 Max, Southwest Airlines, and other entities on a project called Sapphire, Sustainable Aviation Fuel from Renewable Ethanol.
Sustainable aviation fuel, period, is a big deal. I mean, that's the answer for the industry and the answer for Southwest. Sapphire is a very promising technology that takes basically leftover corn refuse, turns it into ethanol that can then be upgraded to jet fuel, and we're very excited about it.
Here is where they are developing and producing scalable SAF from corn stover, the agricultural residue left over from the harvest of corn.
So the U.S. produces about 400 million tons of corn stover per year, and about half of that could be available for energy use. The end goal is to completely replace conventional fuels, petroleum-based fuels, with alternative or renewable fuels.
Tom Nealon is especially excited about the potential of this new fuel technology. He's CEO of Sapphire Renewables and is a strategic advisor of Southwest Airlines.
In our industry here in the U.S., 99.6% of our emissions are driven by one thing. It's the burning of jet fuel. But it's the only alternative we have. Right? So that's what we burn. That's why this work is so important. Our objective, our role, our desire is to replace Jet A with SAF. And we think that Sapphire is really positioned to play a very extraordinary, outsized role. I think we can do this. I'm actually really passionate about this. It's invigorating, we're learning every day. And if we get this done properly, this really could change aviation.
So right now, Sapphire is a pilot project, but a recent 50% investment match from Southwest Airlines, headquartered here in Dallas, Texas, is helping move this new technology a lot closer to reality.
Well, we're obviously a large airline, largest domestic airline in the United States, and so reducing emissions is very important to us. We're counting on sustainable aviation fuel, and it's going to take a lot of investment to get there. The Sapphire technology is very exciting, and the ability to scale that, we think, will produce a lot of SAF that could help us hit our goals. There's a lot of investment it's going to take to scale the Sapphire technology, but we think we can get there.
Sustainable aviation fuel is critical to decarbonizing aviation, but the amount produced in 2021 met only 0.1% of global jet fuel demand. And today, SAF is significantly more expensive than conventional jet fuel. Scaling up production requires government and private sector collaboration.
Our ultimate goal is to be net zero by 2050, and we're going to need significant volumes of SAF to achieve that. And so our goal is for Sapphire to help create commercial volumes of affordable, lower carbon SAF on a life cycle basis. Well, our hope is that Sapphire could help not only Southwest achieve its sustainability goals, but also the rest of the aviation industry. The more SAF that we can use, the less we have to rely on out-of-sector measures like carbon offsets.
If Sapphire's technology is commercialized, corn stover could become the largest cellulosic biomass feedstock in the U.S., with around 200 million tons available for SAF production each year. That could produce over 10 billion gallons of sustainable aviation fuel. Sapphire has been made possible by scientific breakthroughs that are constantly happening here in the labs of NREL, thanks to major investments coming from partners including the government and private sector. And thanks to high-flying collaboration with Southwest Airlines, it's reducing the environmental impact of air travel today by shifting the aviation market away from oil. And that's game-changing technology for the future of our planet. Next stop, Johnson City, Tennessee.
Johnson City, Tennessee was founded in 1856 as a railroad station but quickly became a commerce and cultural hub for the region. Many of the buildings date back to that era. They have one main thing in common: beautiful brick facades. They're great examples of what we're talking about today, the resilience and sustainability of brick. Let's take a closer look. Sustainable building materials like brick are essential to creating a world that balances economic, societal, and environmental goals. Today's building codes reflect standards that recognize buildings for their design and durability. Brick has high ratings in all categories. It's made from natural materials like clay and shale. It can be easily recycled, reducing construction waste. And if it's responsibly mined and manufactured, it can be produced with minimal use of water and emissions.
We've taken multiple steps to maintain our sustainability. The preservation of raw materials, consistently looking at the energy consumption that we use, whether it's natural gas or electricity, installing the most modern technology to make sure that we're as efficient as we possibly can be, and also looking for alternative sources of energy, whether that's fuels or green electricity, and looking at recycled content that we put into our products. And additionally, we look at our product itself and how do we produce a lighter product that's more beneficial to less energy consumption.
Products that are inherently natural and sustainable are a driving factor in influencing today's consumer buying decisions. However, brick has always been a sustainable product, and one that has been utilized by young homeowners and dream home builders for more than a century.
I think as the industry leader in North America for brick manufacturing, also worldwide with our parent company Wienerberger, it's important that we're continuously giving consumers things that are sustainable, energy efficient, low maintenance. I think that really with brick over the years, maybe that's been lost a little bit. There's not a better product to actually build with than brick. Fire resistant, also with wind and hail damage, it's resistant to that. And I think just overall the energy efficiency of brick is very important.
The recyclability of brick is clearly one of its key environmental upsides. I asked General Shale's sustainability manager for more details.
Our natural clay brick is inherently one of the greenest available with its organic raw material base. And the result of using clay brick in design creates a sustainable structure with benefits like durability, low maintenance, longevity, and high energy efficiency. When it comes to innovation, we also look at urban mining opportunities to incorporate recycled content and further our product's circular nature. In turn, we continue to make efforts to design out waste through innovation, further contributing to a climate-positive impact of our products. And for consumers today, even our corporate partners who we collaborate with to promote and provide affordable housing, we feel that the benefits of brick take the burden away from homeowners worrying about routine maintenance costs like painting or even replacement costs associated with alternative materials. When it comes to building with natural clay brick, what better value add is there than with its benefits of durability, low lifetime maintenance, longevity, excellent fire and storm resistance ratings, which all tally up to be true long-term value and affordability without sacrificing the design preferences of consumers with a range of brick colors, textures, shapes, and sizes.
The fundamentals of brick manufacturing haven't changed a lot over decades, but today's brick plants are more efficient and produce higher quality products. I wanted to visit General Shale's manufacturing facility in Spring City, Tennessee, and its nearby mining operations to learn more. Out here at the mine, clay and shales are dug from open pits with power equipment. These mine areas will eventually be reclaimed by replacing topsoil, so the property can be reused for farmland, residential and commercial development, or even natural wildlife habitats.
We stay at these sites for 30, 40 years, so we don't hop around. And after we mine all this material, we have plans to reclaim this land to make it better than what we found before. After that, we grind this material to a certain particle size so that we can extrude it out into the shape of a brick. With the trimmings that are left, we reuse them, so essentially we have no green waste. We want to remove the moisture from the brick. During that process, in the firing zones, we take the excess heat and reuse it in the beginning of the drying. Once the product is laid on a wall, then the customer reaps many benefits. It's structural, it's a good insulator during the heat and winter, and it's maintenance free.
Our legacy that we leave behind is one of continuous sustainability, where we continue to provide jobs for the community. We have over 2,300 employees just in North America. And for us, it's how we continue to push that. How do we offer careers at General Shale or at Wienerberger and move forward into the future, providing a sustainable product that lasts multiple lifetimes.
The best thing about brick, whether it's really old or just looks old, it retains the same qualities of strength, sustainability, and beauty. One thing is for sure, brick masonry creates a complete circular economy and stands the test of time. I'm Andrea Ocampo. Until next time.
Our next story takes place here in Pamplona, Spain. You're probably wondering why this fence is here. Well, this is a town that's famous for its annual bull running festival. This is the street where the bulls come running. This is the fence where the people are watching and being chased by the bulls right through the center of town and City Hall. But we're here in Pamplona for a different reason, far more environmental one. To find out how a company located in this beautiful agricultural nature preserve along the Argo River is helping contribute to a circular economy by using byproducts from the petroleum refining industry to make a product that ultimately enables one of the largest recycling efforts in the world, the recycling of steel. Steel making can be an incredibly energy-intensive process, but fortunately, the electric arc furnace approach to steel making can play a critical role in helping the steel industry reduce its impact on the environment. Electric arc furnaces generate dramatically fewer greenhouse gas emissions compared to traditional methods of steel making. In addition, EAFs produce steel from scrap metal that can be endlessly recycled.
Mainly to produce steel in an EAF, we need electrodes, current, and scrap. So we are using recycled material to produce new steel. At the end, our steel is 100% recyclable.
But one of the most important elements needed by an electric arc furnace in order to, well, melt steel is giant cylinders weighing up to 2 metric tons each and able to withstand temperatures up to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's more than half as hot as the temperature on the surface of the sun. Those giant cylinders are graphite electrodes produced by a company called GrafTech International in several different countries, including here in Pamplona, Spain.
GrafTech manufactures graphite electrodes, and graphite electrodes are the key element of electric arc furnace steel making. So as of today, synthetic graphite electrodes are the only material that is electrically conductive and essentially resilient enough to withstand these extremely high temperatures, this extreme temperature gradient, and the mechanical stresses in an electric arc furnace.
120 some years ago, we invented the electrode. So we were the pioneers in this technology. So if the electric arc furnaces exist, are because the electrode exists. And electrode exists because we were pioneers inventing this product.
The graphite electrodes is the only way we have to produce our steel. We are becoming very green. We are trying to produce green steel the most as we can.
And the key raw material that GrafTech uses to produce its graphite electrodes? Petroleum needle coke, made from a byproduct of the oil refining business and stored in these towering silos that GrafTech gets from its facility in Seadrift, Texas.
We are part of a circular economy by utilizing the decant oil from the oil refinery process and creating petroleum needle coke.
GrafTech's environmental initiatives are having a huge impact on our planet, including furnace heat recovery systems to reduce natural gas consumption, dust collection systems to remove emissions, and GrafTech is exploring the opportunity to move from natural gas to hydrogen in the coming years.
For GrafTech, environmental and sustainability concerns are absolutely central to everything we do.
Plus, GrafTech can even boast introducing the first of its kind facility in this entire region for treating and recycling water.
This is the first water treatment plant that it was installed in the Navarra province.
In the whole area?
In the whole area, in the whole province, yes. What we are doing with this water is, we are taking water from the river, then we use this water to cool down the equipment, and we capture all the rainwater and storm water, we process, and then part of this water is going back to the river, cleaner than we were taking before from the river.
So the earth is very important to GrafTech.
I would say yes. We do not have just one earth, and we have to keep it. Yes.
It's all about preserving our environment. Clean air, clean water, and steel that can be recycled again and again as manufacturers search for innovative ways to conserve our natural resources. I'm John Holden. Thanks for watching.